Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review and back on the Pokemon franchise. Since I've reviewed the first movie, because Pokemon the first movie, like I said before, with how all the hype with the new Pokemon Go game going around, so I figured why not start reviewing the film franchise in honor of its 20th anniversary, the whole entire franchise's 20th anniversary. I've already reviewed the first one. You can check it out. With Pokemon, the first movie, when I remember came out in 1999. Saw it in the theater with my brother. Had a great time seeing it because we were both being fans of Pokemon. And like I said before, they wanted to make, because this is around the time when Pokemon was starting out, and when they started to make a movie of it, everyone was so hyped about it. That's why the film made money even despite the negative reviews it got from critics, though, but people saw it and made money. It's still the highest one in the franchise to date, but that's probably no other film that's ever going to reach it. And like I said before about the live-action version of Pokemon being due for the rights by other studios, so. But anyways, now since we reviewed that one, now going to review the film that came out soon after that in 2000, which is called Pokemon, the movie 2000, or as it's called, The Power of One. And it came out it was released in Japan 1999. Like the first film was released in Japan 1998, but it was released in the US in 1999. And this one was released in Japan in 1999. Then it was released the next following year, which is the year 2000. That's why it's called 2000. And when the film came out, it still got negative reviews. Has a 15% Rotten Tomatoes. It was like 1% higher than the first movie, which was 14%. So this one got like a 1% higher than the first film, but it does still have the same rating on IMDb as the first film, a 5.9. But it was received a little bit more better than the first film overall. And I would say I remember seeing the first two. I remember seeing the first one in the theater. I remember seeing this one in the theater as well as number 3. So yeah, Pokemon. Yeah, I we're seeing all the first 3 movies in the theaters. And Pokemon 2000 star this time instead of with Mewtwo, the first one was about. Now you stars the legendary Pokemon Lugia, which for some reason a lot of people seem to not to like the Pokemon Lugia. I don't know why, but I like Lugia. It's one of my favorite legendary Pokemon. And well, in this film, my brother is not a fan of Lugia because he thinks, he's supposed to be that powerful, but he gets taken out by the 3 legendary birds, Zapdos, Moltres, and whatever. You know. Yeah, so that's why he's not the biggest fan of Lugia. Because he gets beaten by, but in the battle was Articuno that got taken out first, but Zapdos and Moltres did that though, but still. That's the reason why my brother's not the biggest fan of Lugia. But I like Lugia. I would say it's one of my favorite legendary Pokemon. So, and box office wise, had pretty much had the same budget as the first film. It was released in July, and it came out around the tight. It opened up around of a tight release in July because you had the first X-Men, and then you had the Robert Zemeckis' thriller film What Lies Beneath, etc. But it was like mostly due to the first X-Men film that came out around that time. So, but it didn't open up number 1. It ended up opening up number 3. And it made half of what it made domestically than the first film did. Like the first film made about 85 million domestically, but it made like about 47. And total worldwide, it still made overall 133 million, so it was 30 million below from the first one's worldwide total, but it's still so overall 133 million, so it was still successful. You can as you can say. So overall, it still was successful, just a little bit below the first film, box office wise. And then like in the first film, it opens up with a short, called Pikachu's rescue adventure. And also, this place takes place during the time of when Ash is traveling through the Orange Islands, and that if you remember the show, at the time of the Orange Islands, the character by the name of Tracy, who was a Pokemon watcher, replaces Brock temporarily, because temporarily in the show, Brock was with this Professor Ivory, because you know how Brock is with pretty women, so he decided to stay behind, and then so Tracy decided to take his place temporarily during the Orange Islands season, and he's a Pokemon watcher and stuff. So, in this short, and once again, like I said before in the first film, they said about how they don't show their faces, Ash, Misty, and Tracy. Like I said about the first film, to me that was kind of pointless. I mean, we all know what they look like, so there was no point of hiding their faces, and that's like it's a nitpick. Like I said, that still bugs me. It's like we know what Ash looks like, so there's no point to why was the point of trying to hide their faces? So, but anyway, so they decide to to take a break, and they release some of their Pokemon out. They have Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Marill, Venonat, Psyduck, and Togepi. But Togepi ends up rolling down a hill. They all go after him. Her. That's what Togepi is, after her. She falls into this hole, and Psyduck is like way behind them, but ends up running into all the rest and pushes them all into this hole. They all travel all the ways down, and gets like this underground into this hole, where overall there's this big huge tree, and then they meet Then they meet up with the pre-evolved form of Electabuzz, Elekid, and it shows them as they're traveling through this big tree, seeing all different world or a whole bunch of different Pokemon live. Then they find this nest of Execute, and they see Togepi in one of the nests, and they won't let him take Togepi because Togepi looks like an egg, so that's why. And like the part where Togepi goes, the Execute follows. Or a part where Bulbasaur tries to use one of his Vine Whips to grab Togepi, but one of the Execute bites his Vine. I don't know, what is funny is that they're all trying to do this, trying to save to get Togepi, bring Togepi back. But it's funny, it's like they find Togepi there, but yet they wander off to go to this other part of this place, and just to watch all this Pokemon dance. They got some Blossom and some other Pokemon dancing. I was like, they were so concerned about finding Togepi, but yet they wander off to look where, and they do find Togepi, but yet they wander off to look to explore a little bit more for this places, so they can see some Pokemon dance. I just thought that funny because they were making so big effort to find Togepi, but it's like, oh wait, here's Togepi. He'll show him right here, but let's go look around some more. So, and once again, you get another name error for a Pokemon. As one of the Pokemon that's dancing, you see some water Pokemon dancing. You see what it says. It's a Poliwrath, but it's actually a Poliwhirl. But yeah, but you hear the word Poliwrath as it's calling itself, Poliwrath, like the first one, we got a few Pokemon names wrong, and yeah, you get another one right here where it says it's a Poliwrath, which is actually it's a Poliwhirl. I mean, some of these people just know. Just some people, I don't know if this is on purpose or some of these people just don't know what the names of Pokemon is and what different forms they are. You know. Yeah. But then as they said and also like in the first short you see with Meowth, and for some reason this one he's on his own. Well, I don't know how he's on his own because he's always supposed to be with Jesse and James. But yeah, for some reason, well, maybe it's because the short is only for Pokemon only, so they decided to make him just he's wandering somewhere off. I don't know if he's trying to get back with Jesse or James. I don't know. I guess he says he was camping. I said, but I guess he just made a wander for no reason. And he is one thing, at least another as like with the Pokemon, they were rolling down that hole. He gets knocked and he gets hanged from a branch, and where there's where a Gyarados is, and so after that dance, there's this big storm, and there's all this blustery winds trying to blow all the execute nests away, but some more Pokemon. Their Pokemon are trying to help, hold nests down, and some other Pokemon are coming to help, like a Wigglytuff, a Machop, a Pidgey, and a Mankey, and a few others. So they're all trying to hold all the nests down, and and also a Slowpoke as well. And but the one with the one that's carrying a Togepi, one because like all that nest, this one particular one is the one who's going to get about blown away. So they all start grabbing and holding on to each other, and the Whistles try to blow them away. But there's a Snorlax. A Snorlax is nearby with you saw from earlier. It comes in to help him as well, but for a couple of seconds, just standing there. Even when he was trying to help him, and see some apples go by, and he smelled apples, and he's like, and all the Pokemon are going to start flying off, but he manages to catch them again. Because the Snorlax is the heaviest, is the heaviest Pokemon and one of the strongest, and so they managed to bring the whole thing down. And all for one thing leads to another. When Elekid and Pikachu, they're trying to use their electricity to deflect some other lightning bolts away, and then they end up flying over Meowth just to hand a branch. Then they run this Gyarados, and Meowth stay like, "Hey, get your own Gyarados," and he starts kicking Pikachu, and Pikachu shocks him, but also shocking the Gyarados as well. And since Meowth flying, he's like, I guess I'm blasting off alone." So after all the storm has passed, and Chansey comes in, and there's the one missing Execute that was with that one where Togepi was, and but then they're all happy. They start dancing, and then they're staying in front of a Leaf Stone, and it evolves into an Executor. I guess one part, how the Leaf Stone got there. I guess there was one part where Psyduck was helping with the Pokemon fight with the nest, and there was a rock that landed on his head. I guess that was a Leaf Stone. That's how it got there. Yeah. So this one Leaf Stone where the Executor dancing, it evolves into an Executor. So after all that, Pikachu and the gang. They say goodbye to everyone else there, and as they head back to where they were, and just when Ash and Misty and Tracy, they wake up and they're like, where are the Pokemon? Oh, they're in the stream. I guess they were just playing there the whole time. Yeah, not knowing what happened. So that's the end of the short of Pikachu's rescue adventure. Then you get into the Power of One, or the story. And where you have it opens up where you have this your antagonist, the villain, I don't think it says his name, but it goes by the name of Lawrence the Third. He's a Pokemon collector. He wants to collect legendary Pokemon, and he usually plans to capture the 3 legendary birds, Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno, which will ultimately that he wants to get all 3 of them so he can capture his biggest prize that he wants, the Beast of the Sea, Lugia. So it opens up, with him going into the Orange Islands, where each island is owned by one of the Pokemon. So he has to capture Moltres first. Moltres, fights a bit, but then he gets captured, and then it opens up with Ash and his friends. They're on their way, and this is also when Ash still had Lapras, because by the end of the Orange Islands he lets Lapras go. So this is when he still had Lapras. And also there's this big, as they're on the way, there's this big huge storm. They end up on this one island called I forget what this one island is called. Shamari. It's like the center. It's like the center of the Orange Islands, and it's all because this is all those big storms. Pokemon are all upset because I guess all 3 of the legendary birds, they represent the balance of nature and are the balance of Pokemon or power or whatever, and like back in Pallet Town with Ash's mom. And Professor Oak stops by, and they see, there's a quick rain, and it starts snowing, and which I thought this scene was kind of funny. A lot long ago, I thought the scene was funny. I think I still get a chuckle out of it. There's a bunch of Diglett that are that are going one way as all the other Pokemon are, and Professor Oak is on his bike, and they start moving him and his bike. He's like, and he starts hops onto the fence. For some reason, long ago, that made me laugh, and I still get a chuckle out of that particular scene right there. But he also knows that something is wrong with Pokemon, because he's saying that Pokemon are more in tune with nature than we are, and they know that something's definitely out of balance. And back with Ash and his friends, they end up on this the island of Shamadi, I think, because it's the center of the Orange Islands, and they're greeted by these people, which the woman who's driving, that was giving the lift, was giving them the lift. Forget that girl's name though, but she knows one of the people there, and this girl, her little sister, is supposed to be to the next of doing this ceremonial ritual that they have, and Melanie is the girl's name. And the leader of the people is saying, because they were speaking, as the film opened up, they were speaking of a prophecy, the Chosen One. Of course, we all know who the Chosen One is, and that is Ash, because there was a prophecy saying, if everything is out of balance, I forget how the exact line was, but it's everything, the whole world will turn to Ash. And of course, obviously, it's gonna be, turn to Ash. It's not just Ash or whatever, but it also means that a guy named Ash is gonna help change things. And of course, there's always something that Ash is, because a lot of these things it's always up to Ash to save the day or whatever. A lot of times in the whole show. So, and of course, there was also speaking of that. Sometimes during the few episodes in the Orange Islands, there was which is still happening in this, when Melody says that it was Missy, you're Ash's boyfriend, and a couple of episodes there's this Whereas like, oh, is Misty Ash's boyfriend? Like sometimes when she gets all blush and all that, and you get some of the same thing as well, like something like that instance, like, and he's like, oh, I am not his boyfriend or this and that. So they get a little bit of aspect that was from the Orange Islands show into this as well, which I still think is funny. And also there's like one little scene where you see a talking Slowking who watches, who like it's like people know it's a shrine that where all the what you'll see later he guards it, I guess, and this Slowking can talk. And Melanie's there to play this song with this flute that this is a festival song that is called it's the Song of Lugia. And they said that Pikachu sings there sends something, so Ash goes after her, and they need to get back on the boat to see what is going on. And then with Team Rocket, they were in their Magikarp boat, which you saw most of the times in the Orange Island show, and they see with Ash going. And with Melody, Tracy, and Misty, they followed another boat, and Team Rocket sneaks on with them. And then they crash landed on the Fire Island where Moltres was, and it all leads up to one of the shrines where one of the spheres, which is one of the treasures, and it's the Fire Sphere. So Ash takes that. And of course, when Melanie and the others and Misty and Tracy, as they're on their way on this other boat, and they get on shore, is like, oh, like it's like a convenient moment where this is what happens to have like this big sail, so they can just ride along the land instead of on the water. So it's like, oh, that was how convenient. But one leads to another is that they meet up and Team Rocket is there. And then Zapdos shows up on the Fire Island and saying that since Moltres is not here, because Pikachu is like talking to Zapdos and Meowth is interpreting the conversation, saying that just since Zapdos is no longer here, I claim this honor for myself. And Meowth saying, I guess Moltres flew the coop. And then Lawrence shows up in his big flying airship. And does eventually capture Zapdos, and of course Ash and everybody else gets caught up in one of these capture rings that Lawrence sends out. So they get caught up and they get pulled up into the ship. So as they're in there, they're in the ship, and Lawrence introduces himself and lets them out and says that he's a collector. He's doing all this, so he has Moltres and Zapdos in one each cage. So he's there to try to capture now Articuno, then to capture Lugia next. And so they decide to help to break the two birds out. Like Ash tries to get Moltres out, and Team Rocket, of course, how with Team Rocket they're always a bunch of goofy idiots, always trying to please their boss by capturing Pokemon though. But there are certain signs, like there are some like instances in some episodes, where they help out Ash out. It's like they're idiots though, but overall they can be good. They can be good guys sometimes. So they tried to get Zapdos out of that cage, but then the Moltres gets out, and he lets Zapdos out, and they start fighting each other, along with Articuno and such. And then ultimately this leads this whole huge battle that Lugia shows up. And this is why my brother is not the biggest fan of Lugia, because he gets defeated so easily by the three birds. Like he has to try to use deflect attacks, but then he gets defeated and crashes back into the ice ocean. That's how he dislikes Lugia, because he got defeated so easily. But then Melody plays the Lugia song. He comes back out, and he also starts speaking as well in Well, like we compare the voices of Mewtwo is more of a dark and sinister voice. The voice who voices Lugia is like a much more calmer, soother voice. He's like the song has regenerated my strength. Um, so and also with oh well, as one I forgot to mention is as Moltres and Zapdos get out, they bring down the Lawrence's his ship gets brought down. Then Ash gets it crash lands on Zapdos' island, and the electric sphere, the second part of the treasure, Ash ends up getting. So he gets two of the treasures, and they get on the island where Slowking's at, and he puts the two spears, but in their proper places. But he needs to get to Articuno's island to get the third treasure sphere. So now since the prophecy says he's been the chosen one, and so he has to go and get that on his own. But and he gets help from his Pokemon to help this little to help slide so walk in. But then they gets blocked with a tall block of ice. But then Team Rocket shows up in this motorboat, and they help him out. And says, why you helping us? He's like, well, we can't without the whole world being destroyed. Otherwise, we don't know people who will be left to steal and this and that. Yeah, so like they show you instances where Team Rocket can be good guys, but they have done in a few episodes throughout the whole show, and yeah, they're just idiots though, but they can be good guys as well. And I always enjoy the characters of Team Rocket, so. So they go all the way to the ice island, and they get the last sphere. And while that's going on, Articuno gets shot down by Zapdos and Moltres, and Lugia shows, and they all gives Ash a ride, and Team Rocket they cling on, trying to make their way back to the other island. But Team Rocket says, we're slowing them down, and if we hold them down, they're not going to make it. So they what was that? What was the what would they say? Well, if they slow down, they're not gonna make it. So they decide to let go. Team Rocket's blasting off again, whatever. But then they crash land. They said they were gonna die, but they didn't. But no, let's go on. As they get closer, Lawrence still has his one of his contraptions to capture Lugia, and as he's caught in the rings, he's being zapped. He uses what was his move that Lugia has is Arrow Blast, shoots down wherever back at Lawrence's ship, and then takes down Zapdos and Moltres, but he's falls back in the water. And he says, I have failed, but. And then Ash is stranded in the ocean, and Misty goes out there to help him, and with Tracy's help as well. And Ash goes all the way back to that shrine and puts the last treasure in. And then Melody starts playing the song again, and then and all this ice and snow. One thing to another is that all the ice and snow goes away. Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres, they're no longer fighting with each other, and Lugia comes back, and as the birds go back to their own islands, Lugia, thanking Ash for what he has done, then heads back down into the sea, and then it shows. It shows when it's nighttime. Lawrence he's on the island. But he finds a card of Mew. Like the old Japanese card. Like the picture of Mew with as an ancient artifact. But a Pokemon card. He finds that and picks that up and he says he wants us to do his collecting again. And then sometime later, Team Rocket are looking like oh, look at the no one will ever know, no one will never know what we did. But then Slowking tells them that the audience, meaning us, tells audience us that they know we saw what they did, and they are heroes. And they started saying, "Oh, maybe we should we should do this. That's good. If we tell the boss finds out, that's bad, and this and that, And then as the credits show, it's like the ending of the first film. It shows the trainers, on their way traveling through the Orange Islands and etc. So yeah, so Pokemon 2000, I enjoy the sequel. But as I grew up with Pokemon, so it's hard for me to not. Yeah, even though critics are not fans of this whole film series when it was in theaters, I still enjoy it because I grew up with Pokemon. Pokemon's another part thing that I loved growing up. So I still like more than Yu-Gi-Oh. And with these films made more money than Yu-Gi-Oh, because Yu-Gi-Oh the movie when it came out made diddly squat. While these films made money because Pokemon was much more popular than Yu-Gi-Oh was. So as for features, there's no commentary on this one, but it has like a music video with Donna Summer. I think what else to do with some of the soundtrack as well. Yeah, she's performed by Donna Summer, "The Power of One." It's like the only notable singer in. Oh, there's a song by Weird Al Yankovic. Really enough, really called. It's saying the song called Polka. Polka. POLKA, but it's Pokemon. It's like, really, that song by Weird Al Yankovic, really? I think that was playing during the. No, that was not it. I never noticed it in the movie. If I did, I completely missed it. I was just like, really, a song by Weird Al Yankovic in a Pokemon movie? Seems kind of off to me. But I don't know. I probably I heard and I missed it in the movie. But yeah. So I guess the only two ones I noticed about is Donna Summer and Weird Al Yankovic, which I didn't realize one of his song by him was even in the movie. So, but I'm so surprised. Like really, Weird Al Yankovic's a song in a Pokemon movie? Seems kind of weird, but and yeah. So like I said, I enjoyed the movie, even though critics said it was a kind of a little bit of improvement over the first film, but still got negative reviews. And really enough, it was really nominated for like the Stinker's Bad Movie Award. It was nominated for Worst Achievement in Animation and Remake or Sequel nobody was clamoring for. But it lost to Digimon the movie. Now, one thing I can say, one thing about that part, I was never a fan of Digimon. I've seen bits and pieces on TV back in the day growing up, because I do remember the intro song being somewhat memorable, like Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon growing champion, Digimon. Yeah, that song, the intro song of that, I thought I still remember that song though. But other than that though, I could never got into Digimon. I just never did, Digimon. I remember growing up as well though, but I was never a big fan of Digimon. I could never get into that though. But I'm sure some people do like it though. I won't disagree with that though. But yeah, but I just could never have been a fan of Digimon. I still never have seen the movie either. So maybe one day I will, but Not anytime soon, because I've never, like I said before, I could never get into Digimon. I was never a fan of Digimon to begin with growing up. So maybe one day if I find the time to, I'll grab the movie cheap and maybe we'll go for there sometime though. But for now, yeah, I still prefer to watch the Pokemon films. The sequels, I would still say, are better. But Pokemon 2000, I do enjoy, and do I think it's better than the first film? Kind of hard for me to say, cause especially when it comes to the first three movies, I still enjoy though. Although I will do say the first three movies I still enjoy more than the other sequels though, but because I grew more of the first three movies though. But I still like the other films though, but it's the first three movies I still enjoy the most. But Pokemon 2000, I would say it's a pretty decent sequel to the first film. Grew up with it growing up. I think I still have the old VHS tape. I think I have stored away. I think I still have, especially for the first three movies. I think I still have on VHS. But yeah, Pokemon 2000. It's definitely worth a look. I would recommend. I would say that for Pokemon. If it's for Pokemon fans, definitely though. But I'm sure people who if they're Pokemon fans, surely they have seen the film. So, but I guess to people who haven't. So, but yeah, that's my review for Pokemon 2000. I give it a thumbs up for being fans. And I guess they wanted to see for the legendary Pokemon Lugia and the three birds of Articuno, Moltres, and Zapdos. I like Lugia, but I guess my brother is not the biggest fan of it, just because how he was taken down like a weakling by the three birds. I guess that's why he's not the fan of Lugia, because it's kind of like disappointing to him. But I still like Lugia. Some people do, some people don't. They probably prefer Ho-Oh more, because gold and silver. But that's just me though. But Pokemon 2000, I enjoy still. One person can make all the difference. But yeah, that's my review of it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned on the next movie review, and that which will be Pokemon 3, the movie. Later.